Take one toe at a time and massage it. Pull it, twist it, move it. Outwards, inwards, shake it. You can sit in front of the TV or chat with somebody and get in the habit of working with your feet and toes. Alternate between the different strokes and notice how each one feels. I must say that it usually takes much more to regain sensation than to improve movement. So keep working with it. Now you move the ankle in circular motions to both directions. Light. Think that the toes are leading the movement. Now use your hands to move your ankle in rotating motion. The foot has to learn how to be passive and to not resist or help with the movement. Stop and visualize that you're moving the ankle. Imagine that somebody is moving your foot for you. No effort. Just imagine. Now, move your foot again, lightly and breathing. Do you feel any difference? Does it feel any lighter? Very good. Because most of us have a tight pattern of movement, we move with way more force than necessary and use the wrong muscles. By simply trying to make it lighter is already a different movement, and it will activate other neural pathways. Another important exercise is the fast and firm tapping on hard surface. Of course, if the area is inflamed, then you need to be gentle or even avoid it at all until you can get rid of the inflammation. Suppose somebody with multiple sclerosis has a lot of difficulty to lift the legs to tap the feet on the floor. This exercise would be very good, but it causes too much effort. What we'll do instead is to rub the feet back and forth. You need to adapt each exercise to the position or way that suits the person best. The person has to feel the benefit of the exercise. If she doesn't, it's not the right exercise for her at that time, no matter what you think. Now, we're going to use the same principles to work with the upper limbs. In order to loosen up and stimulate your fingertips and hands, we need to liberate energy and circulation from the neck and shoulders. We can, for instance, move the head and the shoulder in circular motions, massage, tap, stretch to open up the shoulder area. After that, we will stretch the forearm. Place the palm of your hand on the floor, with the fingers pointing towards you if possible. Are you feeling the stretch in the internal part of the forearm? With the other hand, massage the forearm. Now, hold the thumb and pull it down and backwards. Move slowly until you find the tendon and stretch it. Open and close your hands slowly, feeling that the fingertips are doing the movement. Again, this is a great challenge for the nervous system. It is used to open and close the hand all the time in a very hard, tense way. We will move it in a very slow fashion. When you feel you opened it fully, keep on going more and more, opening each little knot, each little space of your hand, more and more. Now move your wrists in circular motions. You can do this movement when you're lying on your back or with your elbow supported on a table in front of you. Move the forearm in circular motions to both directions. Everything we do is based on relaxation and to increase relaxation. From there, we can create better movement. Clasp your hand and allow the right hand to move both of them. The left is passive. Now exchange. The left will lead both. Does your hand obey you? Allow one hand to move the other. Interlace your fingers and stretch them outwards. Cross one arm over the other, clasp your fingers, pass your hand under your arms, and stretch out the forearm to get a nice stretch there. Can you feel it? Now shake them. Very good. Shake it up. Now, move the hands together again and notice if the passive one is more passive now. Is it a little better? Can your hand obey you better? Keep your wrists loose when you tap on wood. A hard surface is better. Does it hurt? Go on. The sensation will change and change again. Did the pain go away? Do you feel that your hands are warm, alive, vibrating? Move the thumbs in circular motions. This movement is virtually impossible for somebody with carpal tunnel syndrome. What we do, we first gently massage it, treat the acute phase, and gradually ask for the smallest possible movement, which can be almost invisible and do not cause pain, to be done to both directions. Then just gradually we increase the range. And the other fingers. Now, use your index finger and press the thumb downwards, not allowing the thumb to move up much. Try it. Relax. Now put your index finger underneath your thumb and resist the down motion of the thumb. Now sideways. Your index finger pushes the thumbs inwards, while the thumb is trying to move outwards, and vice versa. You will repeat this motion with each one of your 10 fingers. Move them in circular too. Notice how she walks. Where is it weaker? Yes, in the thighs. So we will do a lot of support here in her session. This area needs a lot of work. Please turn around and lift your legs sideways. And the other. In this way, we can evaluate the condition of the pelvic girdle and gluteus muscles. Bend your knee. Both. It's harder, isn't it? It's because of the weakness in their hamstrings. These are the hamstrings. She can bend it a little bit with the help of the gastrocnemius, which are relatively strong. The hamstrings are weaker. The trunk is very tight, and we will do a lot of massage to loosen it up. In her case, we use all the techniques that we use for muscular dystrophy: the release, the support, the build-up, the passive motions, etc. And on top of that, we will also do the neurological massage, especially along the spine, to stimulate the nerves that exit from the spinal cord. Lift your arms straight as much as you can. The other one goes further, huh? Whoever will work on her, give a lot of support and a lot of passive movement in this area, okay? When she's lying down, move her arms a lot in this way. A lot of shoulder movement too. We will place the ball a little further down. You keep the ball for a few minutes in each part and move it down as you open more space. This is, by the way, a great position for you to mobilize and loosen up the shoulder. Breathe, both who is doing and who is receiving, so we can synchronize more and more with her body. Your thumb is always loose and relaxed, and your hands are always soft as we work. When we're doing the support massage, you take a relatively large area and stroke it in circular motions. You want to keep doing it until you feel a slight increase in muscle tone. It seems that the muscle swells a bit. You also want to make the tissue more even in texture. As you move your fingers through the area, you will notice that some parts are tight and some are flabby. Some are atrophied and some has more mass. What we want to do is to make it more homogeneous, more even. There is very little pressure. What we're doing now is the release technique to release tension on the stronger hard areas. Here, sometimes you need to do a little bit of this. You will get much more results if you alternate massage with passive movement, ask for an active movement, visualize, evaluate the movement, massage it again, and so forth. This will be way more productive than to stay 20 minutes massaging one area. When the muscle fiber dies, there is infiltration of connective or fat tissue in the area. Both in Duchenne and in Becker MD, we see this pseudo-hypertrophy. It looks like the person has the calves of an athlete. Unfortunately, it's not muscles. He has Becker. That's why it is so important to do that stretch that we did before. These muscles are strong, although there's a lot of tension. We will release the tension in the legs. There is also an important muscle loss in the trapezius and shoulder area. In these areas, we will emphasize the support and build-up massage. We need to release tension in the lower back to free up the energy to the legs and calves, without much force or pressure, just enough to soften it a bit. Here, by the shoulder, you also can see some atrophy, and there is a lot of tension. But the way I will release the tension here is very different than the other one in the lower back, because here there is more muscle mass. Can you see it? I can feel the texture. When you touch him, you will notice it too. Here the muscles are atrophied, and the superficial fascia is very tight. Therefore, we will release some of that tension, but the main goal here is the support, and the support massage itself will help to release some of his tension. Turn around, please, and raise your arm. He can do it, and there is a slight shortening right here. The other one. The abdominals are extremely tight and we'll release them. But notice, we cannot release tension all at once without the progressive strengthening of the upper trunks and legs. Because if I focus just on releasing tension, as it happens in common massage, he will feel weaker and might fall down. Therefore, what we'll do is to release some of the tension that is there to free up stagnated energy, to increase circulation, and to liberate the movement at the joints. That's all. And we will invest our time more in the support, build up, and strengthening. Raise your legs. The other one. Bend your knees. You can see that this movement is much more preserved than the other one, which indicates that the gastrocnemius and the hamstrings muscles are stronger than the pelvic girdle. Let's see. Raise the whole leg backwards again. More. I think that the pelvic girdle and the gluteus are the weakest. Okay, and the other one? Thanks. We will release the tension in the pelvic area. That's why you ask for the movement, to find out exactly how you need to work in each area. Let's do a lot of build-up here. We move in circles until we feel a little puffing of the tissue there. Passive movement of the arm. Here, he is also shortened. We will slowly open it up. I'm going to pull a little bit. This movement limitation is mainly due to the shortening than to the weakness of the muscles. This is another area for support. Please work a lot here. From time to time, as we massage, we stimulate his breathing, simply tapping on the sternal bone and the diaphragm area. This exercise will strengthen his calf. When he comes this way, he is working his tibialis anterior, and when he does that way, he's working the plantar flexors. There is also a little bit of quadriceps works here. I can make circular motions here. In her case, I need to do a lot of mobilization of everything that's close to the spine. Everything else that we do is secondary. It is important and necessary, but secondary, because her problem is in the spinal cord, inside the spine. You always start gently with releasing the muscle tension. With conditions that includes the degeneration of the spinal cord, the central nervous systems, besides everything we already have done, mobilization, support, relaxation, build-up, etc., we have to do the neurological massage, which we do on the neck and on the whole spine. She should feel the massage inside her spine. To do this, you need to be relaxed, focused, thinking that you're penetrating deeply and massaging her spinal cord. What are we doing here? It is an area that's prone to degenerate, to literally die. So our touch is going to calm down the area, to support, to stimulate the nerves' function. This is very relaxing to everybody. Both to do and to receive it on the neck feels great. But in her case, it is more than just pleasant. It is essential. Her head is tilting slightly to the side, and I place my finger under her cervical vertebra and cause this gentle vibration. That's what makes the difference. As we work, we ask the client, how is it? If our touch is too rough, it can be annoying. Or if it's too superficial or out of place, she won't feel it inside. Suppose her spine is here. I will place my fingers on it and we'll move them lightly but firmly, creating this rhythmical vibration inside. It is also very important to release tension on the scalp, as if you're washing it slowly, using more pressure in certain areas to open it up and allow the joints to breathe. Visualize that your head is expanding, that you're breathing through your head. We need to open space inside the head because there is also degeneration in the brain. This is where the hope to reverse the degenerative process resides. Everything else will compensate, minimize the losses, bring comfort, lightness, etc. We're still working with the secondary effects of the disease. But when we are doing this neurological touch, we are working in the primary disease process in the body. What we're going to do next is a series of exercises to relax the central nervous system. They are good to virtually any condition because, as I said before, you always need to relax the body to work on anything. But for any neurological and central conditions, these exercises are essential. The first exercise is rolling from side to side. Your legs are semi-bent. You start with the shoulders, that brings the hip, that brings the knees, that brings the other hip, and then the arm. Sit up, put your arms behind your head, bend a bit to the side, and tap on your side as you stretch. Do the same to the other side. Do you feel it tight? Do you feel the pulling? Lie on your back and move your forearms in circular motions. As the movement gets established, bend and straighten your legs, alternating, and keep your heels on the floor. Continue with the forearms movements. It doesn't matter if you cannot make the whole movement. What is important is that you're doing one thing with your arms and another thing with your legs. Breathing slowly and deeply. Now, straighten your legs and move your ankles in circular motions, while you move your wrists in circular motions too. As the movement gets well established, move also your head from side to side. You can make infinite combinations to fit your client's conditions. Those movements gotta be relatively easy. Lie down on your stomach and move your legs from the knee down in circular motions. Think that it's the feet that are moving your leg. It will make it easier. You can do it with just one leg at a time or both. What Ana Maria is doing here is very intelligent. The stronger leg is supporting the weaker leg, giving it a passive range of motion. Stop, separate your knees, and move the legs from side to side in a scissor fashion, opening and closing your legs. You can also do this passively to your client before he is able to do it on his own. That's what we do. Move your legs in a circular motion several times, thinking that the toes are leading the motion to both directions. As you start to get tired, you stop the circles and do the scissors. Then stop and repeat the circles. Notice that it gets easier and lighter. Feet on the floor. Move the heels in and out. And finally, move your ankles and circles again. This can be a wonderful journey. Please